I'd say what makes a horror movie good is not only the psychological factor, but I also love a horror movie with jump scares.
Boo.
For a horror movie, I expect to get scared. So when a horror movie doesn't really have jump scares, I'm kind of just like, well, this isn't... Like, I wanted some, like, excitement. I wanted adrenaline rushing, you know?
I'm very much a horror nerd. I think that there's merit to both of them. However, I feel like with psychological horror, you have to do more to make it scary. Relying on the implied isn't as scary as showing some of that.
Here's Johnny!
I don't like to be able to guess what's gonna happen next. I hate the cliche ones. I'm not interested in, basically movies where I can tell that there's just gonna be gory scenes next. I don't like when I can tell there's just gonna be screams and blood and stuff like that.
I usually kind of prefer like more psychological films rather than like gory and jump scares and stuff like that. Just because I feel like it kind of sticks with you more, and it's more like just interesting to watch and think about.
I think a good horror film doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, I think that if you're in it to be like, to gross people out, like your stated purpose is like, I want people to like pee themselves and cry and scream and leave the theater, like, it never comes across as good as like a film that people are like just messing around and they're like, I want to make something that someone's gonna attach to. Like, I think that that's what a good horror film is people like...
Like, year-round, I prefer more like scary, you know, psychological horror films. But like when it comes, you know, around October time, I think I do prefer like to watch more like wholesome Halloween movies.
I do typically prefer wholesome Halloween movies, but I have a soft spot for like psychological horror movies, mostly on the verge of, I would probably say paranormal psychological horror films.
I think year-round I prefer horror, but like when it gets close to Halloween, I'm like, okay, I want to watch cutesy little Disney Channel movies.
I'd say my favorite kind of Halloween movies are less the horror movies and more the like humorous ones, like more meant for children.
I don't see how a pumpkin patch could be more sincere than this one.
Scary skeletons speak with such a screech.
I have three. I couldn't pick between them. So it's Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, the new Invisible Man movie, or Sinister.
The biggest movie that reminds me of Halloween is Hocus Pocus, because that's just always been a Halloween movie that I watch, you know, when it comes time.
Love Hocus Pocus and like Halloween Town around Halloween time.
That most reminds me of Halloween is Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion.
The Everest from Evers and Evers Real Estate.
The movie that reminds me the most of Halloween would probably be Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Hear these zombies shriek.